Welcome to A Little Birdie Told Me with rollercoaster.ie. I'm Rebecca Horan, and on this week's podcast, I'm talking to broadcaster Sile Seoige. Sponsored by Aptamil Follow-On Milk. We believe that every feed is a gift. That's why we've dedicated over 50 years to breast milk research and created Aptamil Follow-On Milk. Aptamil Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. Breastfeeding is best. Follow-on milk should be used as part of a mixed diet from 6 months. Talk to a health professional. This woman, I am absolutely delighted to be sharing a microphone in studio with. It is broadcaster Sile Seoige, who is joining me for A Little Birdie today. A Little Birdie told me I should get it perfectly right. Thank you for coming up from Spiddeal. Like, seriously, came up from Spiddeal, right?
I'm thrilled, though. I genuinely am very much looking forward to this. Tuning into your chats, you make
It's chaotic.
It's chaotic, but that's why I love it. It's brilliant. It's
It wouldn't have a singular focus now, would it?
I love
It wouldn't be
it.
a theme. It wouldn't be parenting anyway. That's it. Like, we were like, it's parenting, Josh. You were asking him about his willy problem. You know, it doesn't have a theme. So don't we worry about the parenting part.
I love how unfiltered and how
yeah.
unhinged at times you
yes.
can be.
Yeah, I was
I'm
born
here
like
for
that.
it. I'm here for it.
Gosh, we've done fine. So, like, we're still here. We're 6 seasons in. I took it over 3 seasons ago. Everyone thought you're fucking for a while. I'm still here. But I've been asking you to come on, and I wanted you to, like, we'll figure it out.
Thank you for your
I
patience.
love- no,
I
but
know
I-
it wasn't an easy one.
It's not easy with anyone great. It's not. We have to.
Oh, well,
they're
thank
busy
you.
and dynamics and
But yeah,
kids.
I know what you-
Also,
I know
sorry,
what you're
we're
saying.
kids. It's parenting about, like,
Yeah, sure.
if you're getting someone who is not working in the city or coming down from an office and who's literally, or isn't maybe influencing, so they're at something, and they're literally traveling to come and be a broadcaster MC, you have to make time and space, and it's totally fine. And I'm very much like, if you definitely want to do something, someone will just say, like, I really don't want to do that.
Yeah,
And I've only, out of I think 20 something people I've asked, had 1 or 2 like, I just don't feel like talking about something, or I don't. Fine.
Sure.
And fine. It's
No,
always okay.
I see, that's the thing, but I did want to do this.
But we had to wait.
And I'm selective, and I'm not trying to sound like you're...
No, I think
like,
it's important to be selective,
No, but,
yeah.
you know, that makes me sound probably like, who's your one? But truthfully, that is the
But you
case.
have to be.
As you know. You get asked to do a lot.
But you also you are very busy, and you and
Yeah,
I talk about
yeah.
how we try not trying to balance
But
that.
I love your vibe. And
Yeah, God love
I
you.
also I also think it's great when you have the face-to-face chats, because as much as, and I've done plenty of them and they're great, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
No shade to the remote recordings.
No, not at all.
But
Yeah.
you get a better...
I can't do
everything
a remote recording.
in person.
Something happens to me.
Really?
So we've done a few, just like we done skiing once, and he was abroad, and was filming in America, and we're like, we just want the man. We get him, book up, great. And we've done a few. There's something, I wonder, is it a bit of a trauma back to the COVID days of being on the Zoom so much with people, that disconnect, that trying to get into a story, even doing things like, do you remember Elaine's show? A lot of that was done through Zoom. Any shows you went on, you never really, I felt, represented yourself, because I feel like you're always in an actual job interview mode.
Yes.
Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah,
It's not really
yeah.
the full blown.
And you need to bounce off other
of
people
an
and have
energy.
that energy. Yeah, I totally get it.
Completely. And we've some people come in, who did we have on last week? And they were so calm and serene. Alison Curtis and actually Daniela Moyles. And I was like, wow, they're just so calm and chill. And I was like, they're fucked. Like, I said, how are you feeling here? They're like, great. I was like, because I'm not as calm and serene. You are genuinely like, I'm like saying Spiddeal. You do live in Spiddeal now.
I live in Spiddeal. So
Where
I'm
you
from
came
Spiddeal.
from, yeah.
Where I came from. So I obviously didn't live in Spiddeal for many years, but now I'm back. And you know, I never thought I'd be that gal who would move back to
Yeah.
her home village. No shade to the village, but I just didn't.
Do you not
And
regress back to, it's like on home on Christmas week and you turn into an asshole? Do you find yourself going back into, or do you just keep your own little boundaries from family and all, like you just do your own thing?
No, it's
Like at home and I become a complete tit. It's like,
but that probably happens too. And that means
you know
that
what
I'm
I
like
mean?
that
When you
all
go
the
to
time
your
then.
place you're
No, I know what you're
from.
saying. Yeah. You know, it's a funny one, I think, for me. As I said, I didn't think I was ever going to be that person, and that wasn't because I didn't love where I'm from, because I do love where I'm from, and I'm very proud of it, and all those wonderful things. I just didn't necessarily think I'd move back.
Yeah.
But then life went in its own weird and wonderful ways, and I found myself expecting a baby that was very much planned and very much wanted. And then we had the big chats about, where are we going to live? Because neither of us were Dubs.
Yeah, okay.
And we both worked in Dublin for a long time and loved Dublin, still do. But it felt like, I don't know, the whole raising a family thing.
Yes.
Are we going to do it here? Probably a huge part of that was also the cost of living in Dublin.
Intense.
And all of that,
We
you know?
moved out of Dublin. Now only to Wicklow, but the same. It's so expensive.
Yeah. And he's from Cork, so it was either going to be Galway or Cork. And then it basically, how it happened was, our little lad was only 4 months old when a site became available in my home village, and a kind of a site that doesn't usually kind of appear, which is across from the beach.
What?
Yeah, and it was kind of like, let's look at this. So we did.
That's
and
amazing.
We fell in love, and we placed a bid on it, and we were very fortunate we got it. So that was 7
amazing.
years ago. So it's taken a long time. We just moved into the house this summer.
So
we've been building.
from bidding to now, you've only gotten in 7 years later.
Yeah.
What?
So So I suppose it was initially buying the site, then getting planning permission, then getting mortgage approval, and then COVID happened, delayed everything. And then we had our daughter in November 21, and that's when the foundations went down. So it took 2.5 years. So she just turned 3 on the 11th of November. So it took 2.5 years to build.
I know you're a very positive person. Would you do that again? That sounds fecking intense.
I wouldn't live in a mobile home for 2 years again, but I...
with two young children.
Yeah, but you know what? Look, in the grand scheme of things, as we all know, it's all relative. And
I know, but sorry, this wasn't a Hollywood Winnebago. Was this an actual mobile home with two little kids?
It was a mobile.
Hard?
Yeah, it was hard. There were times when it was just a bit, you wake up on a cold morning and you're boiling the kettle, and then you lose electricity, and you're trying to feed the kids, get them out of school, and it's Baltic, and you're going, think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts.
So lucky.
Yeah, let's focus on what
really
we're grateful
hard.
for, kids. I would
really
do that
hard.
a lot. Let's talk about what we're grateful for.
I can't believe that's been a 7-year process from a baba to get, and I understand you're saying, we'll bid in mortgage, you reckon, not that easy, then put down, but that is an insane journey. You must be so, are you just wandering in the house going, ugh, you'll never fucking leave that house.
No, we're
be
so
some weird
happy.
issues.
Yeah, exactly. We feel really lucky. It's amazing. It's just amazing to be in. It really is.
Is it gorgeous? Is it a bungalow, cottage? Is it a big house? What's it like?
Well, I suppose what we wanted to try and create was kind of a beach house vibe. So we love it. We love it. I mean, look, hey, it might not be everybody's.
I've seen snippety bits. You don't over puke your info on Instagram, which I love. You put up a lot of content that's relative to your podcast, right?
Yeah. I'll probably put up more housey stuff
bits.
in
it's
time.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I like the sprinkling of bits. It's lovely.
Well, thank you.
Well, very nosy about people's houses.
Yeah.
Brendan Courtney
I
puts
love
stuff up.
following interior accounts. Yeah, love that stuff.
And is it minimalistic, maximalistic cottage? What's it like?
It's quite a neutral palette. It's quite airy and earthy, and I hope homely, which is what we wanted to create. Gorgeous. I suppose 2 young kids, we didn't want it to be a case where we're shouting at them to be careful about this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bit of that because it's still a new home.
Yeah, don't touch the walls.
We have bean bags that we put them on when they're having their treats in front of the telly. They ain't going near the couch when they're eating chocolate, especially not my 3-year-old.
What colour is your couch?
Oh yeah, we went for a really pale colour.
Stupid.
I know, really dumb.
It's a very Protestant household when it's don't touch the walls, because we grew up in a house where don't touch any wall, don't touch any item, and now I'm reliving that through my children. I feel so sad for them because I'm just touch the walls.
Yeah, I know
and they're
exactly.
drawing on the walls,
and it's important for them to be able to feel like
we want
to
try and improve our parenting. Right?
Well, that is yes.
So you're a dirty ride.
Am I?
Yeah, and you're known for your wonderful, not just your dirty right, but you're known for your wonderful broadcasting, right? And your great work that you've done on radio and on screen.
You.
Yes.
I don't know if I deserve that, but thank you very much.
Gorgeous family in general, but you're just a gorgeous woman and very well loved and relatable and open and just gorgeous, right? Did you want, and this is such an annoying,
beautiful
I know,
phrase,
it's great. It's kind of, it is.
Yeah.
Very.
No,
I'm not Kelly Clarkson, the physically. Have you ever seen her interviews? Oh, yeah. It's lovely, but it's okay, that's her part of her nipple. She's so huggy, isn't she? No, that's not Kelly. It's Drew Barrymore.
Oh no, I haven't seen Drew. But Kelly's a bit like that too.
She is, but no, Drew is embracing.
Oh really? Okay.
Did you want to be? Were you a kid? Are you the 4th kid or middle kid or what are you?
Yeah, I'm the baby. In the family.
So same as me. I was the 3rd. Yeah. Did you want to have attention, be on screen, have crack, have entertain people, were you the show busy kid, or were you not at all like that? What drew you to this world that you're in now?
Yeah, through school I was definitely into, taking part in dramas and singing in the choir. So there was definitely a part of my personality that liked that stuff. And then, like a lot of people, I suppose we're lots of different things.
Yes, we're not just one thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose, in adulthood, I've kind of discovered that I'm an extroverted introvert.
Yeah.
So there are extroverted elements of my personality, but I'm quite the introvert at heart, really.
Yeah.
But Look, I didn't really know what I wanted to
no
do,
plan.
to be honest. There was no major plan. But I suppose if you're to look back at my school years and what I was into, yes, it was creative, practical topics, subjects, all that kind of stuff. So there was definitely an interest in that. I loved to sing, so I loved to do that kind of stuff. So I suppose it's not a huge leap to know that I went into an industry that was about performing,
but also communication with people, being around people.
Yeah.
And you still love it. This time on, to radio, TV. You have the most successful podcast now. You MC a lot of you still love it, or do you find it sometimes a pain in the bum and you'd love to be?
Well, I mean, of
course,
like all of us, I think we all have phases in our lives where it feels like a lot. At the moment, I'm definitely like again, like a lot of people listening, we're juggling a lot of balls. So sometimes when you have kids and demands and a mortgage to pay and all the rest, it feels like a lot. At the moment, I'm filming 3 documentaries at the one time while trying to keep the podcast going and my other work and be a mediocre mother.
Be a good mum, yeah.
And be, a partner at the same time. I say, look, I don't know. I feel like a lot
But it's not always like that, right?
It's not always like that. It's just
like,
a phase right
mad.
now. But I feel very lucky. So I'm trying to just... Like I have a great guy. Like we're a great team. I suppose we work well together to say we have to take the diaries out and say what are we doing this week? Where are we? Where am I? Where are you? How can we make this work? And there's a lot of that. But it's particularly intense right now. But again, when filming finishes on the documentaries, things will lighten again.
And then what? You're kind of more based at home. You're collecting the kit. You feel like you're more hands on at home. Okay, so it goes in waves.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is a particularly busy week. Next week, I'm just going to be at home working.
Would you prefer, like, is your preference to like, I'm going to back off my career for 4 or 5 years and just be Mama Earth and hang, or would that kill your creative side?
It's a really good question. I don't think I could ever do that.
Do you struggle with that decision? I do a lot.
No. Yes, I do. Like being away from the kids for a night or two is okay. Beyond that, I really struggle with it. I don't think it's good for them or for me. And again, that's my normal. To somebody else, they'd be thinking, you're crazy, that's fine. Mm-hmm. And somebody else, they wouldn't even be able to do one night away. And that's their normal too. So I think we all have to just have respect for wherever we're at ourselves. And that's something I've just discovered in the last few months, that when I go beyond a night or two away from them, I can just feel it too much.
Me too.
And I know that they feel it as well. So, but needs must, sometimes that's just the case with, being based now in Connemara, and a lot of my work is obviously Dublin based or other parts of the country. So I'm in Dublin and Waterford this week, for example. But I don't think I could ever pull away from it completely, because I get so much nourishment from the work that I do. Mm-hmm. And I think if I didn't do that, I think my mental health would suffer, and I don't think I'd be as good a mother. But definitely, I mean, it's the balance. I want to be there in the mornings and I want to be there in the evenings. And those hours when they're at school or, in Nina or creche, yes, that's a fantastic time to be creative, but I still want to be around the other time. So
same. I think the system, like I was talking about this with like Daniela Moyles, but she's like, the system is flawed. The system, and I'm like,
we're living in a capitalist society where it's just grind, and it's pushing us to our limits, and we're celebrating.
Do you believe that
busyness? Absolutely. Yeah. When you study, I suppose, or you look at, why we are feeling the pressure the way we're feeling, this rise in mental health problems and a huge rise in anxiety, all these things, they can kind of, when you distill it back, we have to look at the system in which we're living. And it's very hard because I'm very much in the system. I'm a product of the system.
In it temporarily for, financial gain and for these, like you were saying, I'm doing 3 at the moment, which sounds bonkers to me. But then it's like, it won't be like that in Jan. So it's not that constant.
And then I have to be very grateful for the opportunity to be able to do it, because we've been in talks about these documentaries for quite a few years. This came off the back of the Miscarriage documentary, which was
wildly successful.
It was well received. It was
brilliant, because it was
Thanks very much.
Sorry, it's a terrible thing to go through, and it doesn't really ever go away. So when you did that, you just opened up. And I remember there was another one done in the UK with Myling Class, and then I just even with Davina McCall's menopause conversation, the conversations are a booming, but it's 2024. Like you did this a few years ago, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks. And I think that was reflected, what you were just saying was definitely reflected back to me from a lot of people. And we all knew it was really important that we we take it on as a topic to discuss, because it is something that a lot of broadcasters are fearful of going there. And I suppose that's what the title of it was. Deada Tochta in Irish basically means essentially end the silence, end the stigma. And so many people have spoken so openly, like Rosanna Davison, different people like that, who have really helped. And even Catherine Thomas, who's been on your pod before,
Anna
and is a good pal
Daly
of
revealed
mine.
on this podcast
Yeah.
being at a wedding, and that's devastation for her and her partner, but having to go out and be a bridesmaid. And I remember just thinking, what?
Oh, wow.
And she said abroad at a wedding. Just the grimy, horrible, sad, lonely moments that we go through, Catherine Thomas. Yeah, so
That
100%.
nobody knows.
And you're just like, I can't talk about it because it's ruined her day. And it's like, it's fucking awful. Like,
Yeah, it's awful, yeah.
so many women.
So many women.
Not all, and we know that it's, what is it, one if, like, we know there's a big number, right? And we know it happens, and unfortunately I think even with that it's like, well, it happens
Yeah.
regularly and early and sometimes later, and Granny had 6, and there's this also whisperings here that make you feel a bit silly too.
Yeah.
But it's great.
Oh yeah, when people say well, at least ... Oh my God, never say that.
Can't.
I've probably
I
done it
became
myself.
really dicky to people when they'd say anything like,
Yeah,
there was a reason she didn't come, and like, it's not helpful. Yeah.
No, not helpful at all. And then I suppose, wanting to kind of cover as many different perspectives as possible, in the sense that not everybody goes on, I suppose, like we were fortunate maybe to go on and have the platform. Have the platform, absolutely, but then also have a child after the pain.
100%.
That a lot of people don't get that, I suppose, that moment or that reward. I don't know how to even phrase it, because
is like a reward.
It's so layered and so painful for so many people. But from that, we were in talks about making more documentaries. So we're working on 3, and yes, they're being shot at the moment for.
Can you talk about the topics?
autumn.
No.
I'm not sure I can, so I might not right now.
Similar
just in
vein,
case.
like really interesting, heartfelt.
They're meaty
great.
topics. Yeah.
No Better Woman.
Well,
was it cathartic making the documentary about miscarriage? Like, did you feel
massively.
it was? Was it?
Massively so, yeah, massively. Way more than I had imagined it would be. Hugely beneficial for me personally, because we filmed it over a long period of time. And during that period, then I was trying to get to grips of, do I want to try again?
Yes.
So by the time it aired on TV, I was actually expecting. I was in the early weeks of pregnancy. It was quite surreal. Like,
That is surreal.
Yeah.
Because you're here talking about something that had very nearly killed your soul.
Yeah.
And then you're...
Exactly.
I have a very small, like, I'm not like you, I don't have this mass following on Instagram, but I have a small following. And I remember when I told my story, I gained some followers through that thread, right? I do remember when you spoke there, and I think it's important to say, when I then announced, and I'm not like flipping Beyonce, I'm pregnant, but when I did say, look, we're having a baby in 20 weeks or whatever, I found it really hard when I would get DMs. And I think it's important for me to say this, from women saying, how did you get pregnant that time? Like, how did you finally get one to stick? Or how did you, and they were grasping, because there's the grasping, right? You were just saying that there, the people who don't get. And like how many, and in depth questions, visceral, some of it was so visceral, because it's like, did you guys do for, and I was very like, no, we did nothing. We were so lucky. Like, I lost a tube and an ectopic. I had the pregnancy losses, and we were told this wouldn't happen, and we're so flipping grateful, but I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. It's not about doing it sideways on a Saturday. It's not, like, there's nothing I can tell you. Even, I'm being comical there, but I found that really hard to know. There's not much I can say, but like, and you don't even want to say keep trying or be calm, or there's nothing worse. So it's lonely.
Yeah, it is lonely, really lonely.
And you look at your kids and like, say you're the same as me and they're your world, but it doesn't ever take, like, that's a separate story, isn't it?
Of course it is. Exactly. Yeah. And honouring however you feel, and honouring that those losses in themselves is something I think that is very important. But then everybody finds their own way with it and their own process that has to be respected as well. So what works for me won't be the right thing for somebody else.
Yeah, totally. And some
and
people
like
bounce back.
I spoke openly because that was my comfort zone. So the first time I spoke about miscarriage, I just was in the car and I just started talking to my phone.
I was just like, oh my God. And I think it's like people come out of the woodwork, like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a funny, was your partner, what was he like through it? I know we always say fantastic, but did he get it? Like,
he did. He did get it. And he was,
really, talk about that. It's very sad for men.
He was really supportive of me speaking openly.
Okay.
Yeah. I said it to him, I think. I'm pretty sure I said it to him. I'm trying to remember now. I'm pretty sure I said it to him before I did it, saying, look, I feel like I want to talk about this. How do you feel? And he was like, absolutely, if you want to, do.
Great.
So, yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, he was great.
Was the pregnancy post all of that sadness hard? Because I found
It
mine
was
shite.
really hard.
Yeah.
I have to say it was very different in the sense that I was really paranoid.
Yeah.
I was very fearful. And until she was actually in my arms, I was kind of constantly...
And did you just bawl when she was in your arms?
Oh, absolutely.
I just trauma ball. I was just bawling snot. And I think they thought that I thought she was ugly. So they were like, yeah, all right there with your baby. You haven't had that labour with shit. I was so fucking...
So relieved. Yeah.
There's no feeling like
God,
that feeling.
No.
And she's
Huge relief.
gorgeous.
Oh, look
at
they
your
all
little
are,
divils.
aren't
They're
they?
so
Yeah,
cute.
they're so cute.
Would you call...
Our
I'm not...
smallies are very similar in age as well.
Yeah, I can't believe that. And like just split
Yeah.
the months.
Yeah.
August and November. And yeah, they're donkeys. Like honestly divils. Are yours wild things or very calm?
You know, as it is with a lot of them, they're very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet there's a lot of similarities. But I don't want to fall into the labeling trap.
I know, we're not meant to
because,
label, but you can still say they're wild or not.
you know, I think it's the classic. Number 2 is, you know, she displays kind of signs of being, you know, a touch mad.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, Catherine was like that. She's like, no, I'm not labeling them. This one's a freaking lunatic who jumps off the couch in a severe bruise. I'm like, what? And she's like, but I don't think we should label them black sheep or wild, Rebecca. And then she's like, she's fucking insane. I was like, yeah. Like my second one is like, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah. Well, like this is an example. This to me kind of it shows an element of the way Cahill is. So our son is 7 and our daughter is 3. So we went on a Santa experience to Westport and it was gorgeous, right? So went to see Santa. He was amazing. All went great.
Santa's it can be very intense. I find it very triggering myself, Sheila.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to talk about it?
I don't really know. I just feel like I have a lot of like hype. I hype it up, and then when the kids don't love it, I'm like, this is just...
Okay.
Go
Luckily,
on.
this was a huge
okay,
success.
Good,
So we were
good.
all
Westport's
good.
a hit. Go on.
So then we went to another element of the experience,
Yes.
and it was into Mrs. Claus, and she was going to read the kids a bedtime story.
Good.
And she asked him, you know, we came in, and how are you, and how'd you get on, and what have you loved so far, and have you seen, you know, did you meet Santa and all that? And he was like, yeah, it was all good. And he said, what was the best bit? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
And then she came to him afterwards. Have you decided what the best bit was? No, I'm still thinking it over.
Yeah, chilling.
And I was like, okay. And then we went out of the room and I said, Carl, why didn't you want to tell her? Like, what is the favorite? So my favorite bit was Santa, but I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And like, you're 7.
Yeah, no, love it.
Do you know what I mean?
Love it. Built-in empathy, kindness,
Yeah.
anxiety, probably. Do you know what I mean? A bit of anxiety.
Probably.
I know, they're the
Hilarious.
cutest
And I was
little...
like, you could just tell her that. It's
She doesn't
okay.
sleep
I don't
if
think
I
she
go
was
on a
gonna
night
be
out. She
offended.
thinks something's going to happen to me. I'm just going for dinner. So cute. And then the other one was just...
The other one then, we were in the pool and...
There was a
we
pool in your
Santa
Santa experience? Sorry, what?
Oh, fill in the gaps, Sheila.
Well,
fill in the
she's
gaps.
quite
so
the
we
celebrity.
we stayed down in Westport. We stayed down in Westport for 2 nights. So we
Oh,
went
for
to the pool with
fuck's
the
sake.
kids.
Okay.
And then, you know, she's jumping. She's 3. She's jumping into the pool.
Yeah.
But instead of just regular jumping in,
Yeah.
she's jumping and spinning in the air.
Oh, yeah, no, dynamic, yeah.
Yeah. Just like...
Just
if,
fuck it.
if Damien is not there to push her out, she's literally going to wallop her head off the edge. But not a fuck does she give.
But hang on,
Do you know what I
is it so people go, it's the second and the first? Is it that, or is it like nature versus or personality based? Because I
It's
was
obviously
the
a
third on off my
combination
Richter
of everything.
scale. But
Okay.
is it? Yeah, but then is it not that they're just born how they're fucking born?
They're
and
born how they're
we
born,
try
but
and
I
label
say
them
as well,
humans.
like, I definitely have chilled massively in the few years.
Yeah.
Like
Like we're
I
hideous
was
on the
over
first, like
everything.
hideous.
Yeah, I was way OTT with
Do you have
Colin.
your mittens on your thing? Like we were.
Yeah.
What was wrong?
Be
with
careful
us?
this, and when
I
he, you know, if he fell in the playground, I'd
I
be
know.
straight over.
Awful.
Whereas she could literally fall off the high stool in the house, and like,
she has.
"You
Yeah.
all right?"
Do you know what I mean? What is that? Awful.
Yeah, and then she just looks at me, checks in, and if she's not bawling, crying, off you go, you're grand.
Not constantly perfect. Like you have asshole moments.
Oh, I have loads
Oh,
of
good,
asshole
'cause we all
moments.
think
and
that
I
you're
really
perfect.
wish I could sit here and genuinely say that I don't, but of course I do.
You
and
lose it sometimes.
That's just the truth. Yeah, and I would love to be able to say I did lose it and now I don't lose it anymore, but I'm still working on it. And there are times when, yeah.
Who's more temperate? Like
Buttons.
who's stricter? Who loses it more? Who like are you a good team that you yin yang it, or is someone
We
more?
yin yang it. Yeah, I can see when he's about to blow, or he can see
Yeah.
if I'm about to
Yeah.
blow. We probably need to come up with a code word for each other. I think that's the next thing. You need to
A
fucking
safe word, you
like,
mean?
tap out
Instead of sex, like just like a
something-
banana, move away.
Yeah, just leave the room
I
and
know.
I'll deal with this.
We
Because
started
you know
doing
the
that
way you can
recently.
see
Oh, I
if
know.
one person is They're just,
Yeah, but then like when Jason sat there yesterday and I was worried, I said, you didn't do anything. He goes, I couldn't get involved in that. I don't know what you were saying. And I was like, you needed to get in and he goes, there was no saving. Like I said, that's not the point. But like, it is hard.
It is hard. I suppose, you know, what do we grow up with? It was that very kind of responsive, fear-based parenting. And we're trying to get, not responsive, but fear-based parenting. I suppose we're trying to move to that
Reactive.
Reactive, exactly. And we're trying to kind of, I suppose the teachings now are, you know, is it about just being more aware, self-aware, being more present moment and conscious? And I don't know how I feel about it. I know that it's wonderful and brilliant and when it works, but I also know that the majority of the time I am probably going back to what I grew up with a lot.
Well, me too. Oh, why are you saying that? I hate this about myself.
It was a meme about, you know, parenting in the 80s, 90s, and it was it was this guy talking about how, you know, if you couldn't find your, say, tracksuit bottoms in your drawer upstairs and you said it to your mum, she said, if I have to go up there and get them, I'm going to kill you. And that was perfectly okay to say. And then he was saying, like, the dad might say, if he was getting pissed off, is you know, if you don't blah, 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 I'm going to hop your head off the wall.
Yes.
But he was kind of saying, but it was kind of more playful. It didn't sound as bad. Like, when you think about how mental these statements are.
Like, I'm going to kill you. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Like, imagine us saying that.
No. Have I? Maybe.
No, I've never said I'm going to kill. I've said, like, I'm so angry.
I hope not.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think I have. But I definitely have got really thick. I definitely have got to a place where I've genuinely dropped the kids off at creche and school, and I've had a cry in the car.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm
God,
a fucking
same,
terrible
Sheila.
mother.
God, same.
I feel guilty. I've sent my smallies off, who I absolutely adore, and I'm absolutely after losing it that particular morning. I suppose really what it comes back to, I need to get to bed earlier, sleep more, and I need to make sure that I get the coffee into the veins.
I don't think it's about that. I don't think it's that simple. I think it's any given. I think they're here to test us and try. Like, sorry, I know there's a lot of they're only 7 and 3 and they're only they're also pushing boundaries to see.
They are, of course.
Right?
It's normal developmentally.
They're fucking smarter than us. What was that incredible thing that I was told by that psychologist? Who was like, until 7, they are in a hypnotic state.
Oh, yeah.
And they're porous, so they're just pulling the shit. So they're kind of in dictator mode, right? And we're not that smart out here in the, like, we're just in a numb, wrecked 40, trying to make money, trying to live. And they're fucking smarter than us. So I do think there's boundaries to be crossed. I do think it's important that we've a bit of the gentle, modern, progressive parenting and a bit of the old shit that was not too bad. Like, do you think we're raising entitled kids?
Well, that's the thing. I suppose there's so many different viewpoints on this, isn't there? And a lot of experts will say that kids nowadays are showing high levels of anxiety and a lack of resilience and being able to cope with difficulty. And what's the difference is, I suppose those of us who grew up, like I'm a 79 baby, those of us who grew up in the 80s or 90s, we kind of got on with a lot of stuff ourselves. Yeah. A lot less was done. Like the parenting was kind of pared right back. In a lot of cases.
Base level. Like there wasn't parents. Stop with the word parenting. It wasn't. Stop it. Like that's just off. That's just funny. And it's not that they didn't raise us, but it's more that it was like a lion with the, it was like they raised us, but there wasn't parenting. Are you mad? Do you think we were parented? Will you stop? Do you think we were parented? I'm asking you. We fucking were not parented. It was like base level, drop, survival, feed, eat the fucking food. No body dysmorphia, like eat that. Like no wonder we were like a plate of food is so upsetting. What parenting was there? I think of the shit that happened to me. Like I remember breaking the windscreen of my dad's car by pure accident, obviously going somewhere like to a camp and just tennis racket hit. I was like, and I remember the fear to Jesus. Yeah. And I do remember something happened, being put in a room. I looked away, who knows, for a fortnight probably. If one of my kids broke the windscreen of my car, I know that it would be like, are you okay?
Yeah, I know.
How are you feeling? It's okay. Daddy and mommy do this all the time, which we fucking don't. You know? And it just let me know how you're feeling. And it's just mad. It's wild. So for you to use the word parenting is kind of extreme.
Apparently, if we're doing it okay 30% of the time, we're doing really good.
What's 30%? Like,
as in, if we're doing
what our parents?
No, what we're doing now as parents.
Right.
So I spoke to this. Are you trying to make me feel? Go on. Yeah, I'm trying to make us feel better.
Right. Okay. 30%.
If we're getting it okay 30% of the time, we're doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. So anything beyond that is a bonus.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
So it's just survival.
This was a child therapist I had on the pod, and that's what she said.
My biggest fear
I'm
is
taking
resilience.
it as fact.
That's my biggest fear. So jokes aside, my biggest fear.
Yeah.
You're talking about anxiety. Yes, I get all that. I do think you're going to raise anxious kids in any generation. It's also intrinsically linked to how you're genetically made up, your personality, your reaction. My biggest fear is that we're heading into, you know, mass overpopulation when you think of all of the issues, the humanitarian issues, right? You think of climate change. You think of mass inflation. Like, it's so expensive to live and breathe. Like, you're living in the most beautiful part of the country by the sea, and you're doing your thing, and I'm sure you're much more sustainable than most. You think about all of the things that we're going to be giving to our kids. You ain't resilient. What the fuck? Like, no offense, but the kind of like, oh, you count your feelings, like, that is not going to work for them. It didn't. I was an anxious kid, probably a bit of a worrier. Wasn't the most academically gifted kid like my siblings or my friend, right? And had to make my way and hustle to make my career, my path. And still I have my issues or have my crosses to bear or my weird idiosyncrasies. Still I have them. And yet I was fucked out the door. You know what I mean? Like, get on with it.
Yeah, I get you.
So what I'm doing here on this hand, I really have an issue with. I'm really trying, and there's a lot of love poured on them. But then I'm like, are they going to be fucked when they enter this
No, I get you.
world?
These are conversations we have a lot because, you know, Damien will slag me off quite a lot saying we're having these chats about wanting to raise, you know, resilient, grateful kids who know the important stuff in life, but yet you keep doing shit for them or buying shit or, you know, all of that because you're trying to create these experiences and have these nice moments, but sometimes I find myself overdoing it.
Yes.
And while I'm presenting them with another experience or a thing, I'm in my head going, what am I doing?
Like the guilt.
Yeah,
no. So it's repetitive. Like Jason, who's I actually really respect him as a dad. My husband's a bit older than me in South Africa and very different upbringing through apartheid, South Africa, and just also civil unrest and all the issues they had, and then to come to Europe and I do think he looks at this westernized, even Christmases, and he's like, it's so much, it's all fucking too much. And if you think of expectations we have, I think even in partnerships, friendships, days, like that one day, he's much more about like, let's enjoy the season. Like it's that hygge, like the Danish, like enjoy the lights and the drinks and the crack and a present here and there. It's that fucking here's all your shit on one day, and that's really hard, I think, and a lot of pressure on parents. Sheila, this time of year is hard on parents. Really hard, and I think
I'm
trying to pull back.
I know.
Do you remember your Christmas presents?
No, not one.
I bet you're going to say do. I actually really don't genuinely remember.
No, I don't. I genuinely don't remember the presents, but I remember the things like, you know, leaving out the bit of Christmas cake or the carrot for Rudolph and coming up in the morning and being amazed thinking Rudolph ate that carrot, you know, Santi drank out of that glass.
But not that you got a Nintendo or something.
No, God, no.
You know what I mean?
No. The excitement of my brother waking me up and say, come on, let's
you know what I mean?
It's all of that stuff. Absolutely.
The jazz and the joy and the not feeling anxious, the
but
feeling
I'm sure
full.
that'll be still the same for our kids, will it?
But there's such emphasis on gifting, no? Am I
There
wrong?
is such an emphasis on gifting and the stuff, and we've become very Americanized in our whole experience of Christmas. But
like in my stocking, and I was this, you know, not going to pretend I was this poverty-stricken, nice middle-class family, dad working hard, but we got a stocking, there was an orange, there was like a fun Scrabble game or something, there was like a baby tester perfume, probably sweets thing, and then you'd have your slippers, your thing, and then your big gift. I just think, look at my poor friends now, and you could have a single parent or some people who weren't just not on those high income.
Yeah.
Well, he wants a phone, then he needs a new idea.
I know, yeah.
What are you doing to yourself? So you're broke in January? CCPC did a whole survey on this recently, just how broke we are.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then what's the pressure in your marriage? What's the pressure in your household?
Absolutely. It's crazy.
I thought you were going to have an answer for me on this.
I'd love to have an answer. All I know is that these are the conversations that we're also having and trying to get the balance right of, you know, we're in a fortunate position that we can afford certain things. But like we all, you know, so we're not going to take that for granted.
Yeah.
But also there has to come a point when even despite what you can afford, whether you can or not, and not like we're all kind of, the grind is there because we're all trying to pay our bills. But I'm not going to say that we're living on bread and water either.
Yeah.
And our kids are still young, so you can buy toys relatively cheaply.
Totally, and they don't demand as much.
No, they don't. But as they get older, I know they'll want the more expensive gifts and all the pressure that comes with that. But yeah, you know, we have to look at that and have conversations as a family on what we're going to do, I suppose, about it.
Just conscious choice, like this kind of weird question. that you live somewhere like we kind of consciously were like, we want to live somewhere a little less pressury in city. Like, I don't know. It was definitely like, I don't know if I want, and social media will be in there, you know, the remit, but like just to get out of it a little bit from the city, because I kind of grew up going to a city school, and I just don't know if it benefited me and my self-esteem.
Well, I suppose we're both from the country. So Damien is from Blarney and Cork. I'm from Connemara. Wow. So I suppose we wanted a country upbringing again for our kids, because that was our normal. And he loves the sea, so that's why Connemara became really attractive. And then, you know, I suppose we're growing up in a Gaeltacht area, so
are they Gaelgors?
Yeah, they speak Irish. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. So that's their normal now, which is lovely, and it was mine too. So I suppose I didn't realize until I moved away how lucky I was to have that.
It was a huge ticket for you. And like,
massive.
Well, I'm going to talk about growing up, but for you guys to go in, and it was TG
for
Card,
sure. Like,
because people were like, wow, they're brilliant broadcasters, and they have the language.
Well, the truth is, I don't know. I mean, you're never going to know, because, you know, but I would hazard a guess that had I not had Irish, I probably wouldn't be working in the media.
That's mental, because it was like your ticket out into this other land.
Yeah, it was straight away, I'm bringing this to the table. I have this thing that I can do.
That lots didn't.
And
conversations at the time where we don't need Irish in school, and you had this.
That was an advantage, yeah, no doubt about it. How did we get here? Sorry.
Talking about Spiddeal raising them in the country, Gaelgors.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're brilliant at Irish.
They love it, yeah.
Does your husband speak Irish as well?
It's not his first language, but he does have really good Irish. He has far better Irish than he thinks
has English.
He has English. No, he's much better
rude.
Irish than he even thinks he has. I'm very impressed by him. I love when he's speaking Irish and he doesn't even realise he is with the kids. It's lovely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice.
How did you meet him? Is it kinky, or can we not know? Is it through like a dating site? Is it not at all
No,
weird?
it's none of those things.
Go on.
It's the weirdest reason how we met.
How long are you together, actually?
10 years.
Is it?
10 years, yeah. So 10 years, and I suppose we living in Dublin, and now we live in Connemara, and we have 2 kids. So yeah, we didn't hang about, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, how do I distill this story? So the first day we met, there's actually a photograph of us together on our first day. So the first day we met, he was just a guy collecting me from the gym that I was at to bring me to a launch of a charity initiative. So it was a cycle around California.
Wow.
And there were some charities that we were raising money for. Wow. One of those charities was Make-A-Wish. I'm an ambassador for Make-A-Wish. And it was a charity wing of An Garda Síochána. So it was called Tour de Force. And they would go, and they still do, he was on the committee at the time, he isn't anymore, but they would go to a different country every year and cycle for a number of days and raise a pile of money for different charities. So this was I think it was 600 kilometers over 5 days in California. And I went into this with zero cycle ability.
Done some spin classes?
No, really bad. So at the time I was fit enough, I had been running. So I'd been doing a number of kind of half marathons. And gym I was going to, they said, look, what's next? You know, you've kind of done that. What do you want to do? I said, well, would you do a cycle? And I said, well, maybe, but I haven't been on a bike since I fell off a bike out in Arran. As I think I was 8 or 9, and I fell off a bike out where my mum was from in Ishman, and I went flying over a wall, broke my front tooth, and I hadn't been on a bike since. So I had this major fear about the bike, but I wanted to overcome that. But then I'd kind of been signed up to this thing without really knowing it. And not alone I'd been signed up, I was kind of half told, you're also going to be an ambassador for it.
Best person for the
job. So I reluctantly, I'm going to be totally honest, full disclosure, I was not the happiest bunny this particular day.
Nice.
So this guy turns up and meets me, and I was not in my usual, hey, how's it going, friendly self. Vibes, I was like, just get this shit done. I just want to get this done. So anyway, he met me and he still slags me off about it. Obviously, I just met this guy. I thought he was really sweet. There was nothing there except he was a really nice guy. Okay. And we got to know each other on the trip. We weren't even in the same group, but again, I just thought he was brilliant. I really liked him.
I love that.
And then I realised I fancied him, but I didn't know what his situation was. And then it wasn't until a good few months after that. So that was October, and early the following year, we were all getting together, basically for a piss up to present the charities with their big money. Yeah. And I had met up with some pals earlier on.
And were you and him in touch now?
We were in touch a little. Right. Yeah, some texts.
So you knew he was single?
So yeah, at this stage I knew he was single.
Right.
Yeah.
She's
And,
no fool. She
Anyway,
tested
that night, you know, we had some chats. Didn't snog, nothing like that.
Okay.
But we
But
basically
you knew you
arranged.
liked him.
Knew we liked there was something there.
So nice.
I was basically hammered and I told him he was hot.
Oh, I love it. The best. The
Yeah.
only way is to just say it.
Yeah, I just
Guys, if you're
basically said
listening
it.
to this dating podcast with myself and Sile Seoige, just fucking say it because life is really...
Yeah,
love
I just
that.
said, it
And
was-
did he
we were-
like that you did that? Then did he...
I think he laughed. It kind of disarmed him, yeah.
Good.
And I basically, we were in, where were we? Bruxelles at this stage. Up at the bar, I was rammed. I just said, I think you're hot.
Oh, I love that. It's just
And-
no better thing to say. Just
Yeah,
say it.
and then we went on a
And
date,
what can he
and that was
say?
it.
Well, I just don't feel... Fine, great.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But he wasn't going to do that, so that's brilliant.
Yeah. So that was it, really.
And is he
Yeah.
different to anyone you dated? Is
Very.
he just... Okay.
Very. And I realised I needed that.
Okay, great. So is he kind of like chill or is he vibrant or is he... What is he? Loads of things?
He is probably more challenging in a way that I need.
Great.
Yeah.
What do you think? It just takes you on.
So he takes me on.
Oh,
so
wow.
in an
Love
argument,
this.
I was used to the opposite of that. Somebody who I would be the tiger coming at them.
Yeah.
Connection,
yeah.
and then them retreat. I
Yes.
can't deal. He's not like, I can't deal. He's like, I'm fucking dealing. Are you ready?
Isn't this great?
Are you ready, bitch?
So he's feisty little thing. I
Oh, he's
love
feisty.
this.
He ain't going anywhere.
But isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, that's what I need.
And then you'd get used to the rejection retreat and you get devastated and you're like, oh, fuck it. And it's this
Yeah.
awful cycle of sadness.
No, it's far healthier. I realised, God,
it's so
this
healthy.
is so much healthier than.
Oh, you need to kill each other because then
Yeah,
you get
yeah,
the
yeah.
right. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you guys do because you're married and that
Well.
wouldn't be possible. But I'm just saying that's what happens. That's what happens to some folk. Stop it. So you're with him 10 years, but you're married
Yeah.
no, you're married 10 years? No.
We're not even married. We're living in sin.
Oh, you're not married.
Not
I can't
yet.
believe I
But we look
presumed
at
that.
we
That's
kind
so
of
presumptuous. Excuse me.
not at all. We
I kind of love that. Okay, so you're partners for 10
yeah,
years.
but
Excuse
like
me. I'm so rude.
Like, to be honest, we should be married. We just haven't got our shit together to do it.
No,
we
that's
will
great.
eventually.
I love
just
this.
the whole moving
don't
and
think people need
building
to get
and
married.
stuff. But look at, yeah.
Can you quickly, because it's something, well, that quickly is already just, I shouldn't have said that going into this, but you went through living hell when you were diagnosed with cancer and you were a baby. You were so young. If you think about how hard that is to take in, your family to take in, your people.
Yeah.
Do you find that you traversed or kind of navigated that time well, or was it just a fucking shit show? So I remember, I think you were on the late. Would I be correct?
I was, yeah.
I remember
yeah,
bawling
was,
watching
yeah.
that interview.
Really?
Yeah, it was very hard to, it was very sad and everyone's mad about it. It was a sad, but I loved again, you spoke about it, you were articulate and calm and just this is what's factual. But that was a very hard time.
Thanks a
Did it come
million.
as a shock?
Yeah, it did. It definitely did at the time. And I suppose now, I think if it happened now, I would struggle a lot more because the fact that I think it would be a lot scarier to go through something like that. And I'm sure there's people listening who are in that position or have been in that position. So weirdly, I suppose when I think back at it now, I was fortunate in the sense that that probably sounds like a strange thing to say, but I suppose I only had to worry about myself in a way. But it wasn't what I was expecting and it came as a shock. But I am a glass half full kind of person. So I was constantly kind of telling myself when I got a bit overwhelmed with, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be here kind of stuff? I kept, let's deal with, and I'm also quite the pragmatist when it comes to things, I think. I've realised, having come through a few tricky moments in my life, I like to kind of look at, okay, what do we know as actual fact? And I had been told, fortunately, by the doc that, we can't say for certain, but in our experience of treating thyroid cancer, it is usually a very positive outcome. So I was hanging on to that.
Itself? How did you find
I had a lump in my neck. So your thyroid gland is like a butterfly-shaped gland in your neck. And one side of it, the left side, was basically swollen. So I had a goiter. Not attractive at all.
Where around? Like where?
So I had a big lump there. It was the size of a tennis ball when it came out.
Had it come quick? Had it come on quick?
Yeah, I had it a number of years. And then in the last few months, it was starting to get bigger, which is why we made the decision to get it removed. But I had a biopsy. It came back clear. So obviously we were thinking it's nothing to be concerned about. And obviously that wasn't the case. So when I went in for a checkup, at the time I was working in News Talk, I had a radio show there at the weekends, and I was itching to get back to work because I loved the gang there, still do. They're great, even though they gave me the boot. But I still have a lot of pals that work
No,
there.
it's the best there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
it
not
is.
always an easy place to work.
It is. I had a show there for a few years.
Your show is brilliant.
And I loved it, but they basically said, "We love you. Your show is brilliant," just on the wrong station. I was
Hashtag bring Sheila back. Are you listening? Who's in there? Patricia's gone. Whoever's in. Chris Doyle. Will you be bringing her back? Go on,
so
tell me.
basically, I was itching to get back, and I was on my own, and it was first thing in the morning. And he basically said, "Look, I don't normally have this conversation with people on their own, but you're here, and let's do this." And he basically said, "There's no easy way to say this, but you've cancer, and we need to kind of act now." I was like, what? So I mean, I just remember cursing an awful lot. It was just a nervous response. It was like I didn't start crying straight away. I was like, "Fuck no, fuck what? Bollocks, really?" It was all of that. It was just disbelief, utter disbelief. But he had a plan, and I was like, okay. And then when I finally was able to kind of take it in, I had a plan. So I was straight back in for another surgery, and then there was treatment, and having the plan was a good
Worst
thing.
year of your life or not?
Yes, but funnily
Personally,
enough,
professionally, and that like there was a lot.
going through cancer bit wasn't the hardest bit. It was the post cancer kind of when I was kind of coming out the other side. I went through a breakup, and that was the worst time because I felt very broken and I was very lost,
Vulnerable.
very vulnerable, very very vulnerable. And so going through a breakup, kind of dealing with having had cancer and not knowing yet if it was all gone and all that kind of stuff. And then not long after that, my lovely job in News Talk ended. So yeah, but things happen in threes. Weirdly now, looking back at it all, and I genuinely mean this, wouldn't change a second of it.
But I love that you can do, like, thank God for doing that. I think I've done that with certain terrible years of my life where I'm like, thank God for that because it taught me.
At the time, if somebody said
But
that
it's
to me,
all
I'd
like,
probably get violent.
Did it change? This is such a woo-woo question, and it doesn't always get the response because some people are like, no, it did for a while, and then it became. Did it change your outlook on life having had cancer at 30-something? But did it make you so much healthier? Like, has it completely 360
yes,
your view?
yes and no. So initially,
okay,
there was definitely that feeling. I remember the day, like, being told, okay, you're fully cancer free. Like, leaving the hospital and stepping out, it was like everything was in high definition. Everything smelt beautiful. Everything looked stunning. It was just this
aliveness.
And this, it must be oxytocin where you're just feeling, I don't know
you
what
have
it
a
is,
baby
but it's,
first,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's just
weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything is just beautiful and gorgeous. And that there is definitely that afterglow that does diminish over time. So you kind of have to remind yourself of how lucky you are. I got into running in a big way after that, and was definitely feeling this huge sense of I'm so lucky to be here. But I was healthier. I was healthy before I got cancer as well. It wasn't like I was eating,
There was anything wrong.
I wasn't living an unhealthy lifestyle anyway. But I suppose I was ultra grateful. Like I had what was it, a year? Was it a year? Yeah, two. Was it a year or two before I was diagnosed? I had climbed Kilimanjaro and done stuff like this, so I was fit. I was well, but afterwards, definitely, again, like, I've let it slide. Like, I'm not running the way I was. I need to get back to that. I've allowed kind of that side of me to slide a bit too much over the past while. I need to kind of get my priorities right.
Best eyebrows in the business, lads. You're not here. I'm here. They're such good eyebrows.
Just stop to think.
Yeah, they're good. We'll talk about it.
God.
Why they're so beautifully framed.
Just
Anyway, it's creepy. So, like, they're good.
But you're right. There is that initial feeling of yes, everything is amazing, but you kind of have to remind yourself of that. And I suppose I get reminders.
Hard to do. Yeah, but you're like
through life
and being grateful all the fucking time. Like, that's just not possible.
You have to then, I suppose, you still have to honour however you're feeling, and if you hit a bump in the road. But I am quicker to probably go, wait a second, get a grip.
Okay.
You're so lucky.
What are your life's biggest luxuries? Besides your children and family. Time. Wow.
Time.
Okay.
Time
on your own. I was really jealous of you
time
yesterday.
with
I wanted
them,
to
time
kick you
to
in the
get-
vagina yesterday when you
Go
said
on.
you were doing voice memos upstairs and the kids were downstairs. Like,
I know.
What?
Yeah.
Mine just touched me all day.
Yeah.
No, I was really jealous of your time then, because
Yeah.
it's nice when you can voice memo back. And
Well, see, he was heading off to Cork, so I was just taking that time.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And you could hear my voice memos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's so annoying.
I know. The second
But
you go
time
near
is your
phone.
biggest luxury.
I think it is because, I think a lot of us are time poor. We have a lot on our to-do lists. And I feel like if only I had more time to spend with the kids, to do shit for myself, to go on a date with him, to spend time with my pals, to go and do a nice boozy brunch if I want. Time. It's time. We need time to do these things.
You just said to go on a date with him. How do you keep it sexy? Like, are you good at keeping your relationship? You've had other relationships. You've had failed, but I wouldn't call them failed ones that haven't worked out. Like, how do you keep it going with your husband? And I'm talking about that communication, the passion.
Yeah, we're good at communication, but we're crap at giving ourselves time to each other.
Totally.
We are, yeah. We are. So we're both aware of that. And I think that's a big part of it. Luckily, we're still really into each other, which is great. And long may that continue.
I love that.
We are.
I love that.
We don't, you know what I mean, time together, and we're desperately in need of doing a night away, like desperately in need. But
do you go on holidays? Are you a big holiday girl? Sun girl?
Yeah, but not on our own.
So it's with children.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a different holiday.
Yeah, different holiday.
Because you're all in the same room staring at each other.
I think we've done one night away since Cleona. Have we done one or two nights away?
We did.
Like Cleona's 3.
Bloody brilliant, strong views on Gaza and what you think of what's going on.
Yeah, I suppose I just feel like a lot of people are feeling is that I thought I knew about the history of the region. I actually thought I had a bit of knowledge, and I realised I knew very, very little. And I suppose, we all know what happened on the 7th of October. But from that, we start to learn about the 75 years that went before the 7th of October. And I suppose I feel like my eyes are wide open now. And I think I can never go back to the way I was and what I knew, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I suppose we live with such privilege here in the West. And if you have the capacity to speak, and I know we all have to find our own way with this. What I suppose I've discovered is everybody has their own expression of helping the collective cause, and whatever that is. So for me, it might be having a conversation on the podcast that feels like at least that's something I can offer. Mm-hmm. For somebody else, it might be attending all the protests and doing that. I have only attended a handful. I've just found it difficult to manage. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I feel guilt around that. I would love to be able to be at more, but we're trying to manage our real lives along with, being plugged in and engaged. So it's a balancing act. I'm not always getting it right. I do struggle with feelings of often like I'm not doing half enough, and having the privilege to be able to plug out or not look, as the case may be. But I think we all find our own expression. For a singer, it might be to use their platform to, when they're in the middle of a gig, to, like Hosier and different people have, to shine a light on it. So we can all do it. Like Nicola Coughlan has been incredible. Brilliant. Really amazing. So
I think Paul Mescott, there's been a few who've stood
really
out. Yeah.
Fantastic. There have been quite a lot, which is amazing. And then there's been a notable silence from so many.
Which I don't really find, there's no excuse. It's not I understand you're protecting your, no. It's not okay.
It's grim, isn't it? It's grim.
I just wonder what we're going to think in 20 years of ourselves.
Well, that's it. There was a brilliant video being made, wasn't there, about when time passes and now our generation are old and they're viewing these museums like we have all probably
with our
been
Auschwitzes
to.
And our...
correct, exactly.
Absolutely
and we're reflecting
correct,
on it.
Yeah,
for sure. And then you're like, what were you doing when this was happening? Because we are witnessing an ongoing Holocaust, and that's what it is. These people, it's not like they're in a planet far, far away. Fair enough, like Gaza's not down the road, but these are men, women and children just like me and you and our kids. And they're going through unimaginable hell. Like, of course, if you had people living in a safe country who have all of these resources, wouldn't you want them screaming from the rooftops? If it was me, I would want everyone screaming from the rooftops for me to say, stop, this is wrong. So I suppose for me, it's as simple as that, Yeah,
Sile Seoige, you're a wonder. What are your dreams? What are your hopes for your beautiful future? The podcast is just going from strength to strength. Give it an old plug. You have so many interesting people on.
Thanks. And by the way, all the gorgeous things you've said to me and just your general vibe
is unhinged.
It's unhinged, but I love it.
Maybe my podcast.
Do you know why I love it? You're really genuine, and there's a brilliant. I'm not going to overthink what I say. Think about it. So you're shoot from the hip. What you see is what you get, and you're my favorite kind of person, to be honest. So Thanks. You're deadly.
You're a
So my
sweetheart.
podcast is ready to be real, and I suppose that's essentially the vibe. I like to have real chats, which is what you're doing. Like this is what we're doing right now. So I love that. And I mean, my dreams for the future really are, I think, look, truthfully, and what you've just spoken about, and anytime we go through difficulty, we realize that it's simple things in life. As long as my kids are healthy and content, and I don't absolutely lose my shit with them every single day, and that I, have a comfortable, content life, and that, the relationship keeps ticking over well, you're like, that's it. Like, you've won the lotto.
Getting the right now and again.
Getting the right now and
30%
again.
right in parenting is all we need. Keeping our shit. The fact that Westport has a pool in its Santa experience has blown my
After
fucking...
Mrs. Claus' bedtime story, down to the pool
It's
you
the
go with
only
the
thing I
elves.
remember from this interview is that little, segue into and then we hit the pool. I just thought, wow, the Seoiges haven't made. You're brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Chaos, but gorgeous. And keep doing what you're doing because people fucking love you. Like, they dig your shit. Women are always like, she's just great. And
Really?
I love how you, and I just love how you come on and speak to the camera because it's kind of inspired me to be less, not that I'm very much self-conscious about anything, but I do love the rawness of just popping on, having that chat. And I'm always so intrigued. And then I'm like, I have to fucking go to the toilet, but I need to keep watching that.
Go away.
Yes, it's very good. You're very interesting. You're very good to watch, which is probably why you did a lot of telly. But you want to look and see and hear. Yeah, and it's great. Keep at it, so.
Well, thanks. Right back at
Best
you.
of luck. See you now. Bye.
I know, yeah, they're getting really deeply uncomfortable with the praise.
Thank you
that
so
was
much.
class.
Thank you.
No problem.
Sponsored by Aptamil Follow-On Milk. We believe that every feed is a gift. That's why we've dedicated over 50 years to breast milk research and created Aptamil Follow-On Milk. Aptamil Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. Breastfeeding is best. Follow-on milk should be used as part of a mixed diet from 6 months. Talk to a health professional.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Little Birdie Told Me. And if you did, it would mean a lot to me if you could like, subscribe, and share this episode.